Rob Tubbett for ID Boxing, delighted to be joined by Shane McGuigan. We're in the immediate aftermath of Adam Azim's 10-round decision win over Santos Reyes here in London. Shane, happy with that?
Yeah, very happy. I mean, he could have got the ice on the cake and got the knockout, but that guy was tough, man. Wow, super, super tough. Good defence. He could have worked the body a little bit more, could have gone not as big on the inside a little bit, but these are things that minor, like nitpicking, as it were. He got hit about 3 or 4 times in the whole 10 rounds and, showed a lot of what he's capable of.
You mentioned there kind of could have worked the body a little bit more. What were you happy with? What were you maybe not so happy with his performance?
I was happy with the fact that he controlled the pace well. He sort of held his ground a little bit. He held his ground well at times, and then he boxed a little bit at times. The negatives are he hurt his hand a little bit. He showed it. You can't show anything. He boxing so easy for him that it's like if he hits his hand, he's ooh. And it's like that. Your opponent and stuff can pick up on that, and they can try and crowd you and little things like that. That's just experience. He sometimes forgets that he's on like the main stage. But that's really invaluable experience. That guy was another level of tough. I've seen him knock guys out with 16-ounce gloves on, 14-ounce gloves on, out cold, just like you've seen him do to date in his career. That guy had a chin on him like granite. He hurt him, but he hurt his hand a little bit with the right hook over the top in the second round, and I was really impressed that he managed that situation as the rounds went on.
I know that you were trying to get him back out as soon as possible before Ramadan. Does that put pay to any talk of that now?
Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see the extent of things. But look, the fact is that was great rounds, and the thing is he is preparing for 10-round, 12-round fights, and to have 5 of them a year is tough, but it's definitely doable.
Spoke to a certain George Groves afterwards, and we spoke about the getting these fights in now and going the rounds now and preparing for world titles or preparing for title fights down the line. Important to get these rounds in now rather than later on in the career.
Definitely, that level of opponent as well. You've got to find a way to break them down and and prize them open. He was just showing his left hook a little bit on the inside, as I've mentioned before, because these guys will punch with you, and you need to make sure you're minimising risk. But he was in full flow there today, and he was in cruise control. So I thought he's got much more to him whenever guys are actually trying to hit him, and better at boxing. Basically, he can just keep upping the levels. So George knows well. He knows the game. I spoke to him afterwards. He said he could have gone on the second phase, third phase. These are things that that he does need to do. I'm quite happy admiring his work every now and again, but all learning. Happy with it.
What type of opponent could we potentially see Adam in with next?
Mohamed Mahmoud. Someone that I felt like beat Tyron McKenna, didn't get it, but he's beaten Sam Eggington. I'd like that fight. That sort of opponent, I believe. It's that's the sort of level we want to get to. We are targeting titles, so we're going to look at credible opponents, and we can get ourselves in good positions that we want to be before the end of the year.
Final one on Adam, because I know you're looking to shoot off. Inevitably, he goes into the fight. Everyone's Adam's the future of British boxing. He goes the distance, and all of a sudden you've got people talking about, he's a hype job, he's this, that, and the other. Is that just water off a duck's back? Is that just boxing? You've been around the sport for a long time. You're always going to get that.
Hype job. I think the only person that might have said that is Josh Taylor, who's in the same weight category. So that's the only person I got told. But that's unfortunately that's just boxing and politics, and it's just natural competition. So definitely not a hype job. Trust me, he's the real deal. This kid.
Well, you mentioned Josh Taylor. I was actually talking about a more general thing, but while you mentioned Josh Taylor, rumours of him boxing a certain Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds. How do you see that going?
Fight Jack Cattrall. That's what I think he needs to fight for his credibility.
Okay, last quick couple. Caroline Dubois, 3rd round stoppage win. I spoke to her afterwards. She was, I think, probably frustrated because of opponents changing in and out, but still she did what she had to do and got another stoppage win. Yeah, look,
it's just 2 opponents fell through, and that's just really, it's frustrating. She's really hard to match. So look, we're going to go back. We're going to try and get her out in April. and hopefully we can get another 8. I want to get another 8 rounder because we didn't get many rounds there today before we push on to a 10.
And last but by no means least, of course, Hassan Azim got a stoppage after a couple of points decisions that he's been through. See him on the way out, he had a cut. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, extremely awkward opponent. Very hard to look good against, but caught him within the first 10 seconds and followed his attacks up well. Hurt him numerous times in the fight as well. So it was good for him. Another great experience for him. We need to start pushing on to 8 rounds now.
Okay, Shane McGuigan, thanks very much.
Cheers, Rob. As always, top man.